Hi guys, Squirrel here, and hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a splendid New Year incoming. I thought I'd make a very last video of 2014. I thought we'd take a journey together. Not just a journey in Euro Truck, which I know a lot of you have been asking for, but also just a journey over 2014, just looking back at the year, looking at the kind of videos that I made, what we started on in terms of subscribers and that kind of stuff, and where we are now. And then just kind of end it with my views on 2015, like my goals for 2015. What are we doing? Where are we going? Very quickly, let's just see where we are. We're actually in a very frosty Liverpool. So if you have a look at the map here, you'll see where we are. So obviously this is England, and here is Liverpool, and there's Manchester. And I actually was born in a town called St Helens, which is just about here somewhere on the map. Which is why I thought we'd start in Liverpool. I thought we'd kind of go back and have a look at what it all began. And we're actually going to take a ferry. Sorry, we're going to drive down to Dover. Then we're going to take a ferry, and we're going to take the ferry down to Santos. Santos is here in Brazil. Brazil is not part of the standard Euro Truck world, but it is a mod, and it does work quite nicely. And it is in the mod spreadsheet. There's a link in the video description to the mod spreadsheet, which has all the mods that I use. Not necessarily the ones I have enabled at any one time, but mods that I've used or have used. And this is one of them. It's called Brazil. We're going to go into Santos here and then make the final journey up to Sao Paulo, where we'll make our delivery. What are we taking? We're actually going to take with us, let's bring the map back up. We're actually going to take a 10-ton tank with us. And this particular truck that you see here, this is a Peterbilt 389. And this is a truck that I used on my last Sunday night trucking of 2014. We've got it all skinned up with Squirrel Logistics because my Mega Mod pack works with that. And as you can see, I think it looks rather nice when we start. You can even look, if you look at the chimneys in the background there, you can even line up your chimneys so that it looks like steam's coming out your exhaust. But have a listen to this when it starts up. Listen. Beautiful. Beautiful is the only word for that. Also, when you light this thing up, look. The logo comes on as well. Fantastic. One of the better mods out there. One of the better trucking mods out there. But let's get round to our pickup point. We've got a tank to deliver. We've got quite a few miles to do. So let's get round there and pick this thing up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look back at the videos that I made in 2014. Month by month. We're going to talk about the videos in each month, if you like. Now, what will be interesting is whether you remember them, whether you watch those, whether you remember that particular episode, or whether you might have even completely missed it. But it does depend on when you started watching my channel as well. Before we get there, let's bring up the map. Before we get there, I just want to have a look at the quick numbers. So, when we started 2014, my YouTube channel was on 124,000 subscribers. It ended the year on 266,000. Which is more than doubling the subscribers. Now, if I was to keep that rate up, by the end of 2015, I'd be on more than 500,000, which would be pretty spectacular, and the year after that would hit 1 million. Obviously, I'm hoping we can grow faster, but that's, you know, not really something I have under my control. I'm still happy with the growth in 2014. I would have liked to have ended higher, but that's just the way it is. There have been things that have happened. Whoops, I need to go back and pick that job up. There have been things that have happened over the year that I've knocked my video production into touch on a number of occasions. Work related, health related, personal, you know, just all kinds of stuff. Life basically gets in the way of what you're trying to do. But that's okay, you have to roll with the punches. So I've not made as many videos as like. If you look at December, I think I've only made perhaps 4 videos, which is ridiculous, because I want to make 1 video per day. But the live stream's doing quite well as well on Twitch. I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to do YouTube and Twitch, which is a pretty tough thing to do. Most people focus on one or the other. Most people are either a YouTuber or they're a live streamer. Not that often are they successfully doing both, because it is a different platform. Let's put the beacons on here. It is a completely different platform, and with different demands on Twitch than YouTube. Let's get the parking brake off. But I'm trying to do both, because that's the kind of guy I am. think we can just about make that turn. We got this. We got this. We're not really going to take the front end off. We're fine. Such a long wheelbase, this thing. Quite a poor turning circle, especially compared to a cab over. But that's okay. It's a lovely truck and it's got bull horns on the front. And that's all you can wish for. Right, anything coming? No. So, it's frosty midday in Liverpool. I'm hoping that we can make it down to Dover by the time it... Whoa, we're driving on the left. Paul, what are you doing? You're in the UK. I'm hoping we can make it down to Dover before nightfall, but we shall see. I'm still shaking off the last bits of a cold, so I'll try not to cough. But inevitably, I may end up coughing. So, Twitch as well. Twitch started on 24,000 followers on Twitch at the start of the year. Ended on 63.5. Just broke through the 2 million views on Twitch. And just about to break through 40 million views on YouTube. So the numbers are pretty good. The numbers stack up quite nicely. But let's just have a look back at what happened in January. January 2014. Cast your mind back. Was you a subscriber then? Was you here? Or are you fairly new? Because the very first video that I seem to put out, he says looking at his list. I've got a little list here. The very first video that I put out back in January of 2014 was a first look at a Next car game. Next car game was this very much under development at that point. It wasn't really a game. It was almost a tech demo. In fact, I made a video later in January that was a Next car game tech demo. And that, believe it or not, is my best performing video of 2014. 2.6 million views that video's hit. Next car game, full tech demo. 2.6 million views just on that video, which is extraordinary. But that wasn't the only stuff I did. I did School Logistics. The first mod for School Logistics came out. It was actually a concrete mixer. It was a trailer, if you remember it. Now, towards the end of 2014, of course, we did the Mega Mod Pack, which brought it all together. But it all started, though, with the School Logistics concrete mixer, which was like a black and white stripy mixer. I don't know if you remember it or not. January was also the time when I really started to get into Train Simulator and Flight Simulator. So it started off with Train Simulator. I bought a train, I think it was from Just Trains, I can't remember, but it was a Voyager Class 220. Now this is, if you've been to the UK, you'll see the Virgin trains that go up and down the country. They do sort of London, Edinburgh kind of routes. They're Voyager Class 220s, and they're actually, the simulator of that is actually very complete. You know, most of the buttons in the cab work. You have to power it on properly with the key. You know, it's more towards simulator than kind of lightweight train, and I paid for it, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed driving that train, and I drove it from Brighton to Croydon, I think it was, and I'm in the wrong lane. Oh my god, I'm in the wrong lane. Luckily there's an overshoot. We're fine. Indicator off. So that's what we did. I also did a what's it called? The Horseshoe Curve. Helper on the Curve, EMD GP7 Penzi train. So I did a bit of American trains as well. And some electric, some diesel electric stuff in Germany. That's what I did in January. I also looked at the Romanian map mod. That was the first look for Eurotruck. Romanian map. Throughout 2014, I reviewed quite a few map mods. It began with that one, Romania. Let's get in that lane before that guy shows up. Romania map mod, which is quite a decent map, actually. Quite a decent map. It's not your Pro Mod or your TSM, but you tended to see in 2014 a few of these maps like Romania and Hungary springing up, which were just focused on one particular country. Quite often, though, you had to start a new profile just to play them. And I also started FSX. Now, after months and months and months and months and months and months of me saying, no, 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 I will not play flight simulators on my channel, what did I end up doing? I ended up playing a flight simulator on my channel. And the very first video I made was a Learjet flight from Gatwick to Birmingham International. And I think that may have been the video where I made the entire journey with my flaps set at 10. Now, in Flight Simulator, it's a lot more complicated. Out of all the simulators I play, Flight Simulators are the most complicated by far. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of buttons, a lot of things you have to do. And when you're making a video and talking and commentary as well, you forget things, and I forgot to put my flaps all the way down to 0 on takeoff, so I flew all the way with the flaps down. Which is a bad thing, because when you got your flaps extended in an aircraft, you're limited to the speed you can make, because if you go too fast, you'll literally rip them off. So that was a bit of a noob error, but you know, you live and learn. My videos got better after that. I also started to look at Car Mechanic Simulator in January. Episode 1 came out in career mode. Now, Car Mechanic Simulator, I think you could describe as Marmite, in that at first people were kind of going, what the heck is this? Closely followed by, oh wow, I can actually learn about the internals of a car, and what's an alternator, and where a timing belt goes, and you know, this is amazing. But after a few episodes of Car Mechanic, people really started to get into it. They actually really enjoyed watching me disassemble and reassemble cars. I didn't know when I made the first video how it was going to turn out. But that's what I tend to do. I put a video out and see what people think, and if I get a reasonably positive feedback, I'll carry on with it. But if I don't, then I'll just sack it, as happened in September with Destiny. The feedback from that was horrendous, so I just immediately sacked it and stopped doing it. But that's the way I do it. It's kind of survival of the fittest on my channel. That's how I tend to find out what works and what doesn't work, what people like and what they don't like. And I think that's an important part of what I do, is just kind of listening to my community, listening to you guys, read your comments, read what you think about things, and I just drop them if they're not working, or I'll get good tips sometimes, even good games tipped off, and I'll try them and think, wow, this is fantastic. But that's just what I do. February, we went into February with Train Simulator, Darlington to Bishop Auckland, and also did an Isle of Wight rescue. Now the Isle of Wight in Train Simulator is interesting, because the train is actually a London Underground train. You know, the London Underground trains that you get that ride on a powered rail, that's exactly what they use to get around in Isle of Wight, because the Isle of Wight's not a very big place, and they don't have overhead power lines and all that stuff, so they just power the rail, and they just thought, what the hell, let's just take the trains from the London Underground and we'll use those to get around in, and it works really well. And the wonderful thing about the Isle of Wight Train Simulator is you get to ride along the coast quite a bit, and you get to go out on the piers. Quite a few platforms will actually be on a pier, so you kind of, you know, in a train hovering above the sea on a wooden bridge, which is quite an interesting experience. I then went on to do some more FSX. I did LA to Vegas. That was quite a popular video. That was the first one that I did in a PMDG 737. Now, the PMDG 737 is a very, very complicated machine. It's actually tested and signed off by real pilots, just, you know, for its authenticity. It does hammer your CPU because of all of its processing power it takes, but if you want something pretty close to what it's like to fly a 737, then that's your aircraft. And my first outing in it was from LA to Vegas, landing in the Sunset Strip of Vegas. It looked fantastic. I made some errors, as was expected, but on the whole, the video was quite a success. And I also then went on to do a Brisbane to Melbourne, because people down in Australia went, hey Squirrel, you know, it'd be great if you could come and fly down under, come down to Melbourne or Brisbane or Sydney or something. So I did, and that was interesting, because I flew around the coast of Australia, down in is it New South Wales, I think it is, sort of southwestern part. And also I then went on to do my first mod review video. So up until that point, I'd done Eurotruck videos just as journeys, if you like, trying out different things, different mods, just making journeys. The most famous of which, of course, is the Volvo Baobab trailer video, which is probably what your favourite video of all the Eurotruck videos I've done. That 4-parter was quite hilarious. But I started to do mod review videos because I thought, you know what, I'm using a lot of mods here. I should probably start making videos that are just focused on a good mod, and just showcase them, basically. And that's what I did. I started off with a BDF tandem trailer pack. I then went into March. As we got into March 2014, I started off by looking at Warehouse and Logistics Simulator. Now, when I first looked at the game, started playing it, I thought to myself, I'm not sure about this game. I'm going to give it a chance, but I get the feeling it may be a bit rubbish. I tried it. I didn't know what you guys was going to make of it, but you seem to quite like it. And then they released a DLC called Hell's Warehouse, I think it was called. And I played this Hell's Warehouse. You're driving around in a forklift truck, and you've got these hordes of zombies chasing after you, which sounds okay, and it's a bit of a laugh splatting them. But ultimately, because the game's physics is so bad, essentially the zombies end up beating you up because you get stuck on invisible scenery. And if there's one thing that will make me rage quit a game, it's poor physics. It's getting stuck on things that aren't there. And I just couldn't deal with it. And in the end, I just stopped playing the game and said, nope, this is actually a rubbish game. Don't buy it. So that was my total view on Warehouse and Logistics Simulator. It was... A lot of games put the word simulator on there when really they're nothing more than just kind of having a go at something. Cue Goat Simulator, which also happened in March. I did a first look of a Goat Simulator in March. Now, Goat Simulator was created off the back of a 3-day hackathon. That's where it had its roots, and people demanded that it be made into a game, and they Steam green-lighted it. Now, Steam green-light is good and bad. It's a fantastic thing. Let's face it, Euro Truck Simulator was Steam green-lighted, and from there it went on to great things. It was the #1 selling game in summer of 2013 on Steam for many a month. It was started off as a green light, but unfortunately, developers can make promises, the community vote them in, it gets the game onto the Steam platform, and you end up with half-arsed games. You can't say that about Goat Simulator because it was never really meant to be anything more than a bit of a laugh. You know, the author said in his text, this is just a laugh, it's not complete, it's an alpha, don't buy it if you don't, you know, straight up told you guys. So I you know, have no problems with Goat Simulator, but the word simulator I have a bit of a problem with. It doesn't simulate life as a goat at all, let's face it. It's just you as a goat running around town booting things, and it's fun, it's great as what it is, but it's overuse of the word simulator. And you always have to be wary of that, because Warehouse and Logistics Simulator is definitely not a simulator. It is a forklift truck driver mess about at best. I also did in March mod review of Mercedes-Benz Axor and MP4, and also of the Scania 164L. The Scania 164L, if you remember the screenshot, it was a yellow, I think it was a DAF. Was it? No, sorry, not DAF. It was a yellow DHL skin on the Scania 164. That is a very, very complete truck. Some of the truck mods that I review are just fantastically good, and the Scania 164 is one of them. The Scania T Longline is another. There are some wonderful truck mods out there. There are also really bad ones. 1.9 of Euro Truck came out in March. That was the very first one where they released the brand new AI. So they'd spent months writing a new AI for Euro Truck. I have to say the new AI was... You could see it doing some new stuff, some interesting stuff, but even to this day I can still see the AI doing some crazy things. Was it worth the rewrite? Yes and no. The AI as it stood definitely needed reworking, but whether you could argue that what they did was worthy of months of rewriting, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure it delivered. It took weeks to fix and get it right, and even now I see the AI doing crazy things, but let's face it, writing an AI is very, very hard. I know this from my computer science courses at university. AI is a difficult thing. It's a specialist subject, and you know, it does what it does, but even now it just, you know, it doesn't change lane when it should. But 1.9 was when it first came out, and that's when I reviewed it. I've just dropped my bit of paper. There we go. Just dropped my bit of paper on the floor there that I need, because it's got all my videos on it. So I'm glad they made the 1.9 AI, but after slippages for months and months, I think people generally they were quite disappointed at what they got in the end. But it did improve things in the game. It definitely did make it better. It just didn't make it as better as we all kind of hoped it might. That was March. We went on to April. There wasn't many videos in April, actually. I did a lot of car mechanics simulator videos, and I did a train simulator video from Oxford to London. But April I didn't do a lot of. I seem to remember having time off and doing a lot of streaming and not many videos. I think that's what I did in April. In May I went on to start the... change lane. come on, dudes. Well, you sped up on me. See what I mean? He could have gone into the fast lane ages ago, but they just don't. In May, I did the driver competitions in Scania Truck Driving Simulator. Now, I've said this to you before, actually. If you like Euro Truck, right, and you've never tried Scania Truck Driving Simulator, then you really, really owe it to yourself to give it a whirl. Scania Truck Driving Simulator is a game that will, through a series of scenarios and tests, will make you a better driver. It actually teaches you how to control your truck and your trailer to very, very small tolerances. Particularly the serpentine reverses are very, very difficult. And at the end of it, you'll be a better driver. There's no doubt about it. I did a mod review of Jazzycat mods. Now, Jazzycat is all the way through 2014, I think. Every stream, every video pretty much had a Jazzycat mod in it somewhere. The Jazzycat mods for Euro Truck are pretty much the most comprehensive in terms of the trailers packs that they offer. He's such a prolific guy. He must just sit there all day, every day, adding things to his trailer packs. It's ridiculous how much he puts out, and I'm very grateful to him for it. And the Jazzycat mods I thought deserved a review video, and that's exactly what I did in May. I also looked at 1.10, which had the brand new metallic paint in Euro Truck, and then covered the brand new sort of 4x4 expansion for Car Mechanic Simulator, if you remember that. Car Mechanic Simulator 4x4 expansion added 4x4 cars and I think V8 engines, and it kind of made things a bit different, but essentially the missions were more of the same. I don't think Car Mechanic went as far as I would have liked it to have gone. I think I would like to have seen more depth to Car Mechanic Simulator, but instead what they chose to do was, you know, take the easy road of just adding more DLC with slightly different cars and a slightly different engine and very, very, very similar missions to do, very similar contracts. Bit disappointing in the end because I hope for more. I'm just going to try and change lane. Is he going to let me out? I think he let me out in the end, I'm not sure. June, what happened in June? We had the Flip Paint DLC. That came out in Euro Truck. We had, that was like a DLC pack they did. We then went on to the big thing in June, which was Spin Tires. Now, Spin Tires needs no introduction. It was this amazing game where you got to drive old Russian vehicles over very, very muddy terrain. Fantastic physics. Most of it written by a guy called, is it Pavel or Patev? I can't remember. Pavel, I think his name is. Is a Russian guy. The publisher was UV Games. I got in touch with them. They let me have an early look at Spin Tires. We did a full beta review video of it. You guys absolutely went crazy for it. And then, after I'd done a few videos on it, I actually got the developers, UV Games, onto a live stream. We did a live stream recording and a video, an interview, and all the rest of it. A couple of great guys. It was interesting to talk to them. We asked your questions. That was only the second developer interview I'd done. The first one being Euro Truck Simulator, Pavel Sabor, who's the CEO of SCS. We'd done one with him in 2013. So 2014 was Spin Tires. The future of Spin Tires is very much in the balance. There seems to have been some kind of fallout between UV Games and Pavel himself. I don't know the details, and I'm certainly not in a place to talk about it, but it has thrown Spin Tires' future into jeopardy, so we don't know what's going to happen on that score, but it's not looking good. I then covered a new scenario called 3 Country Corner Route. This was a scenario pack from Just Trains, I think it was, for Train Simulator, and it was set in Austria and Germany, and it has some very realistic signalling and track, and I started to cover it in June. I think I've only made my way through 3 of the 10 scenarios in that, which is entirely down to me. That's my bad. I should have done more, but I didn't. I also did some more Car Mechanic. I did a 737 flight from Edinburgh to Heathrow. So again, that was a domestic flight in the UK. That was in the PMDG 737. By that point, I'd become quite a lot better at flying the 737 and the PMDG, and that was down to the help of people like Stephen Kibberton and Matt, otherwise known as Berlins, and some other guys on YouTube and Twitch that contacted me, like co-pilots and real-life pilots, just giving me loads of help. The help I got for Flight Simulator was phenomenal. and truly appreciated. And you could see it in the videos. I'd improved over those few months. I improved quite a lot because the complexity in a flight simulator is very high. I also looked at Russia, the Russian map mod. Now, funnily enough, in Euro Truck there are two map mods for Russia, really. There's one called Eastern Express and there's one called Russia. And both of them seem to be by different authors, but both doing the same thing, trying to map out Russia. Russia is an absolutely huge place. It's a bit like trying to map out North America. It's colossally big. And in the Russian map mod, you can get on one road and you can drive 1,000 kilometers without getting off. No problem at all. So I covered the Russian map mod. Which was the... I'm going to get done for speeding here if I'm not careful. In July, I covered an interesting game, Elite Dangerous. Now, I was an alpha backer of Elite Dangerous, and I had it purchased from back in December 2013. Elite was a game that I played in 1984 as a child, and I absolutely loved Elite. The world of Elite, to me, was just phenomenal. It really captured the imagination. There is no greater place that you can adventure in the universe, is there, than just going out into space in a ship. Excuse me. And just being a pirate, or a bounty hunter, or a trader, or, you know... And the idea of Elite Dangerous was to put all that together into a proper, persistent, server-based world. And I thought, this is going to be fantastic. If David Braben can pull this off, it's going to be amazing. I made a first look video of it when it was at the premium beta stage, because I felt that at that point the game had come on enough, it had enough content in it to show you guys, and I'm so glad I made that video. I went on to make another video of how to make money in Elite Dangerous, and then later in the year I went to the Elite Dangerous launch party down at Duxford Air Museum, Duxford Imperial War Museum, and that was a phenomenal launch event. It really was. Even the guy from like the Gadget Show was there, and he said it was like one of the best game launches he'd ever seen. They actually built out a life-size Cobra ship, which was just wonderful. They had a very professional camera crew there. They were live streaming it on Twitch with interviews. It was just a great day. Elite Dangerous is not a game I've had enough time to play since then, but it is something that I really want to get back into in 2015, assuming I get the time, which I'll talk more about later. July also had my very first live action footage video. That was from RIAT, the Royal International Air Tattoo. I went to the air show, which is at RAF Crawley, I think it is, in the UK, and that was a wonderful air show. I recorded it with a video camera. I put it out on my YouTube channel. I didn't know what people were going to think. It was the very first kind of video I'd done that wasn't taken footage from a game. It was actually from real life. But you guys seemed to love it. A lot of you couldn't make it, and you were really happy that I made the video. I've got a much better camera now, so in 2015 I'm hoping to go back to RIAT and hoping to do Truckfest, and also hoping to at some point get on a steam train and record some of that. That'd be awesome to do as well. But July also had Next Car Game footage in there, which is now I think known as Wreckfest. Which lane do I want to be in? Let's get in that lane. Middle lane. Yeah, and the Squirrel Logistics Tandem mod was released in July as well. Moving on to August. No, we want to be in this lane. Moving on to August, we had The Cursed Forest. Now, the Cursed Forest was a free game that I'd found. Some indie developer had made it. It was zero cost. It only played through a few hours. It wasn't anything to do with The Forest. It was just called The Cursed Forest. And I played it through. It was very, very interesting. Euro Truck 111 came out. Is this the right way? I think it is, yes. Dover and Maidstone, M2. Yep, that's right. Forza 5 had come out, so I covered Forza 5 in the Mazda MX-5. Did a quick race in that. Forza 5 is a great game, Xbox One only, obviously. And I covered that. I also did some more of the Three Valley Corner routes. And I did The Forest. I started playing The Forest. Now, The Forest was one of those games, survival game with zombies. It was one of those things that I didn't know what you guys were going to make of it. It turned out that you really enjoyed it. You keep asking for more. The problem is, as I found out, I got to day 7 in The Forest, and then all of a sudden a patch got released. And when a patch got released, it completely broke the save game. In fact, the game just deleted the save game. You know, it took my save game and it physically deleted it off the hard drive. So I couldn't, and still can't, make a kind of a let's play or a series on the Forest. What I want to do is just to be able to record the Forest episode by episode by episode, different days, and just carry on seamlessly. But every time a patch comes out, it ruins my save game. So until they get to that point, I can't really cover the Forest very easily. Otherwise, it's kind of like Groundhog Day. Every few weeks, I have to start again completely. So anything I've built, any kind of cabins I've built, any traps, all get thrown away, and we start again back on the plane crash. And it's just really annoying, really frustrating, because the Forest is actually quite a decent game. I also did Assetto Corsa. The BMW M3 E30 was released for Assetto, so I covered that. And also in August, I started my very first Euro Truck multiplayer video, and that was with the man himself, Corrales. So I then went on over September to do some more videos with Corrales, more multiplayer, and I released a complete guide to Euro Truck multiplayer, because a lot of people were confused about how to try the multiplayer. How do you even install it? How do you run it? You know, what's the deal? What do I have to do? So I made a complete guide to Euro Truck multiplayer to kind of demystify the whole thing. I also took a first look at a brand new game called The Long Dark, which is like a hardcore survival set in kind of wintry, post-apocalyptic. You don't know what the apocalypse was, but all you know is the world has been plunged into sort of minus 15, minus 20 degree temperatures. It's set in a Canadian mountainous environment. There are wolves. Things are hard to find. Everything's frozen. Stuff doesn't last very long. It's hard to find weapons and food. And you've just got to survive. The whole point of the game is to survive. The environment will beat you ultimately, but how long can you survive? Made by a company called Hinterland Games, who got in touch with me via one of my subs who covers it on one of his channels. He's got survival stuff on his channel. And that was remarkably well received. I haven't played it a lot since, but I certainly contributed to making people aware of that game, and it seems to be doing quite well, so I'm really happy for them, because Hinterland are quite a nice company, and they have the right attitude, and they fix issues in their games and change things in their games when the community speaks. So I always like to see that in any developer. I did a Destiny walkthrough that tanked on the channel, so I killed that quickly. I also did the Vanishing of Ethan Carter, a preview build. Now, Vanishing of Ethan Carter actually came out in October, but in September I ran through the preview, which let you go all the way over to the dam and no further. You guys really seem to like that. I didn't know what you'd make of it again, but I did it anyway, and you seem to really like that game. It's completely different to anything I'd done before. What else to do? Corrales road trips, yep, that was it. So then we went into October, did some more 4x4 videos on Car Mechanic, and did the full Let's Play of The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Really, really enjoyed that game. The trouble with that game is it's a bit like fine dining. What you get is fantastic, but there's just never enough of it. It's like one of those massive plates with a small concentration of some wonderful food, and when you eat it you think to yourself, that was amazing, but there wasn't enough of it. And that's how I felt about The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Is that was amazing, but there was just nowhere near enough of it. The only thing I would have changed about The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and there is a spoiler alert here if you've never played the game, the whole spaceman thing, just why is that even in the game? Why is that in the game? I do not know. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it. Look at this outside. It's frosty, it's nighttime. It just feels, this frosty mod is wonderful. It doesn't mess about with your physics like winter mods does, but it gives this wonderful frosty cold feel. Yes, I know my headlights are on main beam. Stop flashing me. Okay. Euro Truck mod review. Scania T Longline was reviewed in October. The Scania T is a wonderful truck mod, one of the best out there. Highly moddable, very, very good quality, and I covered that in one of my videos in October. I tried to start the Forest again. I started with episode 1 in October, but as I say, again, as soon as the patch came out, it ruined it. So since then, since October, I've not made any more Forest videos for that reason. Euro Truck released, or rather SCS released for Euro Truck, the DAF XF Euro 6. This is the brand new truck from DAF. It took 6 months to make and get signed off. They finally released it in October. It's a very nice truck, and I took a look at it in a video in October. November, November comes after October, Paul. Oh, November, I started off with Farming Simulator 2015. Now, people have been saying to me throughout the year, are you going to play Farming Simulator? And I said, well, not really, because when I look back at the Farmville on Facebook, you know, it's burned into my psyche never to play that game ever again. And the idea of playing a farming simulator, it was like opening old wounds, old Farmville wounds. I just thought, no. But then when Farming Simulator 2015 adverts started to come out and the trailers, I looked at it and I just thought, hang on a minute. You can cut down logs with this thing, with a wood cutting machine. That has got to happen. I have to do that. So when 2015 came out, I did it. I took a first look video. I did it in a different style to how I normally do first look videos. Normally I'll kind of play for an hour and edit the video down and show you me playing the game. Instead, I decided to try and give you a flavour for what was in the game. So I kind of did it almost as a 10-minute, not so much an advert, but just ran through everything that was in the game. Showed you all the equipment, talked about the economy and what you did and what was the deal. Tried to make the video as informative as I could. Unfortunately, some people kind of didn't like that. They said, this feels more like an advert. Have you been paid for this? Because it's not like a normal first look video. And nothing could have been further from the truth. Nothing could have been further from the truth. I was not and never have been paid to review a game. And even if I was paid to review a game, I would say so at the start of that video. I would say, I have been paid to review this game. And I would never even do that without saying to that developer, if this game is rubbish, I'm going to tell people it's rubbish, yeah? You know, you might be paying me to review a game, but you're not paying me to give me a good opinion about something that isn't good. I will review this as I see it. And that will always be my standpoint. And I have never been paid to review a game. Let me just say that again. So Farming Simulator was a different style of video that I normally do to first looks. I tried to it actually took more effort than a normal first look video, and I actually thought it was more, there was more information in that 10 minutes than I could have done in an hour just talking about the game. That's what I was going for. But some people loved it, most people loved it, but some people were sort of accusing me of things that weren't true. So I just thought I'd settle that one. Dovetail Games first look video of fishing. Well, they call it Dovetail Games Fishing. Thankfully, they don't call it Fishing Simulator, because it kind of isn't. And also, this is where I have a problem with this game. I don't think it should have been released on Steam. It was a bit too early access. The game's solid enough, but there's just nothing in there. There's just no content, really. There's like one fish that you can catch, a couple of mini games. Why was it even released? You know, I don't have a problem with small indie developers releasing games, you know, in alpha and saying, help us to support the game, you know, it's a bit unstable, you know, cash flow is a bit of a problem, we need some feedback, we need some money, help us to grow this game. You know, I don't mind that. They're open about it right up front, and you know what you're getting into. If you don't want to get into it, you don't get into it. Dovetail Games are not a small company. Dovetail Games are quite a big company, in fact. In the simulator world, they're quite big. They don't need the cash. They didn't need to release that game early access. Why did they release Dovetail Games Fishing so early? For me, there's at least 6 months more worth of development needs to go into that game before it's ready for release. So I took a look at it. What was there, I kind of enjoyed it, but ultimately I think fishing on a computer is an entirely pointless exercise. I think most people go fishing to get away from the wife, or to get a bit of peace and quiet, to clear the mind, to get with nature. For whatever reason it is they do it, it's not to just do it on a computer. And so ultimately I don't really see any future for that game, but I shall carry on covering it anyway, just to see where it goes and to see what they might make it fun. I don't have a problem if they make it fun, but it's never going to be something which you can take seriously, I don't think. Right, we're on the ferry at Dover. Let's have a look where we are. We're on the ferry here at Dover. It says we're going to go to Calais. That's a complete lie, because what's actually going to happen is we're going to go down to Santos there. So let's do that. Let's click on that key there. Let's click on Santos. Oh, apparently you can go to Paranagua as well. The problem with this is you can't see where that is. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Santos. We need to go to here, Sao Paulo, so we could go here, but that would be totally stupid. So let's go to Santos. Well, as you can see, the sun's kind of set over in Santos. It's dark around here. Apparently they don't like to light up their ferry ports. They just like people to crash into each other. It looks like there's a rest point out there on the road. So I think we're just going to go and quickly rest up. What time do we have to have this delivery in? Thursday afternoon. That's fine. We can do that. So let's go and rest up. And it should end up at something like 4 in the morning then. Ideally what we could do is just go and rest up for 8 hours. I wish you could say how long you want to rest. Because ideally what I do now is just say rest for 10 hours. Yeah? Why do I have to rest for 8 hours or nothing? It'd be so nice to set that. I tell you what, I love the dials on this dashboard. Just look at this at night. Analog dials coming out the kazoo. It's just fantastic. Right. This is where we've got to try and spot the AI lights. There we go. I think it's clear. Apparently no street lighting in Santos. Maybe there's just been a power cut or something. Who knows? It's extremely dark. Extremely dark. I think we'll rest up at this... yeah, there's like a station... a repair point here. Let's get in that lane. I think we'll have to cross over the lane. Look, you see what I mean about the AI just comes flying up around the outside of you. Well, yeah, I guess that's realistic in Santos. In Brazil. Maybe they drive like that anyway. Let's nip in front of this coach. Sure he won't mind. And we'll park up over here. We'll be out of here before they open up shop. Is that a parking point? That's a parking point. Is that the beach? Oh wow, look at that. We're actually at the beach. Oh, this would be so nice. If we'd have been here like 2 hours ago, this would have been beautiful. Okay, let's rest up. Doesn't look so great at 3 AM. How far have we got to go? 159. Oh, do you know what? Let's just rest again. I think we'll still be able to deliver. There we go. Ah, look at it now. It's beautiful. It's so much better in the day. Look at all these squirrel logistics. Oh my god. Everybody stopped here. That shipping container reminds me of Transocean. Wow, does Santos really have an offshore platform like that? That's amazing. Wow. This is the beauty of being in the southern hemisphere at the end of December. It's not freezing cold. It's actually really nice and sunny and warm. Right, let's get those lights. Put side lights on. Now we're just got to reverse out of here. I think we'll just reverse down the side of that. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Right. Left turn out of here. Oh look, Squirrel Logistics. We're just taking over the world. Of course, the roads are a lot busier. Is he gonna let me out? He is, but he's not. He's had enough. He's off. So that brings us up to, what, November I think we're on, Fishing Simulator, well, Dovetail Fishing. This War of Mine was the first look video I did. This War of Mine was totally unlike anything else I'd covered before. It was set in a, wow, what's going on now? Set in a kind of war-ridden town where you took control of 3 people and you had to make, you know, difficult choices to survive. And that could involve, you know, raiding supplies from other people, or trading with them, trying to protect yourself, trying to get food, medicines, trying to keep yourself interested with books and stuff. but you have to deal with psychological effects as well as, you know, health effects on your characters. And again, it's a game that I wanted to play a lot more of than I ended up playing, but I'm glad I managed to basically show people this war of mine. Brought it to a lot of people that had never heard of it, so that was good. And what's this guy doing in front? I did some more London Underground Simulator. So this, as I say, is a World of Subways 3. I think World of Subways 4 is due out in 2015. It's going to cover the New York Underground. But World of Subways 3 covers the London Underground. So I've been working my way through some of the briefings in that. World of Subways is a brutal game. On the one hand, it's great fun. On the other hand, the physics in it can be absolutely terrible. You can fall through the ground, through the whole platform, quite a lot, and it can be awkward and clunky. But it is entertaining somehow, and the lighting in it is better than Train Simulator. Like, if you put the lights on your carriage, on your train, you can actually see the tunnel ahead. If you do that on Train Simulator, you might as well just lit a match. It's that kind of level of difference, but it's a brutal game. If you make one mistake, like in Train Simulator, if you make a mistake, it'll just deduct your points or say to you, driver error or whatever. What it won't do is just pop up and go, scenario ended, you're stupid, and then just quit. I mean, okay, it doesn't say you're stupid, but it might as well, because it just pops up and says, scenario ended. And it doesn't even tell you why. It doesn't say, you didn't put your tail lights on, yeah? Or you went through the track at the wrong speed. It's just a frustrating game. And when you've spent 40 minutes doing a scenario, for it to just end abruptly, with no warning, and no instruction, and no learning, I think the authors of that game need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and change that game. And I'm mounting the curb, because I'm trying to read. December kicked off with Christmas Shopping Simulator. I don't know if you remember this. It was a free game that was made by there's a company in the UK called Game that is a retailer of console and PC games, and they made something called Christmas Shopping Simulator. It was a tongue-in-cheek, humorous look at shopping in a shopping mall. Now, we all know what it's like. You know, the ladies of the world love going shopping in a shopping mall. The men generally don't like it. I mean, that's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, the men can't wait to get out of there. They kind of go in, get what I need, get the hell out. Christmas Shopping Simulator was in a shopping mall, and you know, it had a Santa's grotto in the middle, and then you had the escalators going up to various floors, different shops, and you were given different scenarios, different things to do. But ultimately, it let you run riot. It let you run up and down, jump off escalators, steal iPads out the store, steal MacBook Pros, throw them down the escalators, kick them off the stairs, jump on top of Santa, boot the presents around. It was hilarious fun. You could even go in the toilets and, you know, pass wind. It was that kind of simulator. It was just a laugh. Some people took offence to it, said this game didn't deserve to exist, but most people saw the light side of it and just kind of enjoyed it for what it was. A free game and a bit of a laugh. I thought it was great fun. I then did Squirrel Logistics Mega Mod Pack. Now this was something we've been promising for weeks. It took everything that we'd made so far, or everything that Jack Sims has made so far for me with my Squirrel branding. He's put it on the trailers, the trucks, the recruitment agencies, the garages, you know, you name it. He's just put it all over the place. Put in a lot of effort. He packaged it together. We put a readme file together. We let people turn off different parts of it. So if you just wanted the truck skins but not the trailers, we even made it compatible with Jazzy Cat's trailers. And finally released it towards the end of December, just before Christmas, for everybody to enjoy. Wow, this is a great view. Look at this. This is lovely. Let's have a look outside. A second. Beautiful bridge. So that pretty much ended the year, and this is the last video of 2014. So what's going to happen in 2015? Well, the big thing is this, right? Now, we've talked about this on the stream quite a lot. The idea of me going full-time. What does me going full-time mean? It essentially means me giving up my full-time paid job and doing YouTube and live streaming full-time. Now, that is that's not so scary when you're living in your parents' bedroom, right? And you've got a roof over your head and you've got food in your stomach and all the rest of it. But when you're a father of children, when you've got people dependent on you, when you've got to bring in the money, that can be a scary thing. Going from employed to self-employed like that and relying solely on YouTube money and Twitch money and the kind donations of other people, that's a scary thing. But that's what I'm looking at doing, and 2015 I hope will be the year when I can do it. If that happens, I'm going to need all of your help in 2015, and that's, you know, in any way you can. That could be sharing videos, liking videos, helping the channel to grow, whatever it is. What is going on in front? Whoops. Look at that trailer, guys. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not stopping now. I've got to go and see this for myself. Look at that trailer. Did you see that? It was going sideways. Oh, this is hilarious. I'm not saying this truck is powerful. Did you see that trailer? It was going up. That was hilarious. Squirrel Logistics was going sideways through a tunnel. That is a beautiful way to end this video. By the way, did I show you the horn on this thing? Listen to this. That horn sounds like a combination of between a freight train and a mouth organ. It's absolutely brilliant, that horn. That was awesome. There was no way I was going to stop then and kill all my momentum. But 2015 is hopefully when I make that leap. I'm saving up money to help it. If I can't make it work, ultimately it will mean going back to employed status and doing what I'm doing now, which is making videos and streams whenever I can. If I can make the leap and make it a success, it will mean a video, at least a video every day on YouTube and 5 streams a week, and my channel will grow a lot more rapidly, and I'll be able to do all the things I want to do and make all the content that I want to make for you guys, because I know you love it. I know that if you're sat here listening to me say this right now, you've made it all the way through this video, and you've done that because you are one of my loyal subscribers, because you love my content. You love hearing to what I have to say, and you want me to succeed. That's why you're here. The people who don't want me to succeed are the ones who start a video, click dislike, and then close it. Yeah, they're the kind of people that I don't care for. They're not important to me or my channel. You are important to me and my channel. And I want to make more content because I have a real passion for this, guys. I have a massive passion for playing games, for making videos, and for live streaming, and that's what I want to do. And I just hope I can make it happen full time. But I'm going to give it a bash. If I don't try, I'll never know. But I will need your help when that happens. But the upside is lots of videos, lots of live streams, lots more games I can cover properly. You know, I could have weekly flight simulator videos, I can have weekly trucking videos, I can have weekly train simulator videos. You know, as well as all the other stuff I'll be trying. End of January, for example, GTA 5 comes out. Yeah? GTA 5 at the end of January. I've played every GTA game and I love them. GTA 5 I have not played because I've been waiting for it to come out on the PC platform. I could have played it on PS3, I could have played it on Xbox 360, but I didn't. PC platform's where it's at for me when it comes to GTA, and I've been waiting for it to come out. It comes out end of January. I would love to just smash that into touch, to just spend hours and hours and hours on that game. But unless I'm full-time, it ain't going to happen, because work and everything else just gets in the way. It gets in the way of it. But I'm hoping that 2015 is going to be a successful year for me, and a great year for you in terms of the content I'll be able to make for you guys. I don't know what games we're going to cover in 2015. Euro Truck's going to stay on there. Hopefully, you know, I'd like to think American Truck will get released in 2015. So they're going to be happening. Assetto Corsa driving games. Project Cars is coming out in April. That's another game I'd like to cover. Flight Simulator, X-Plane and FSX. And of course the brand new Flight Simulator that's going to come out from Dovetail Games. We don't know what that's going to be like, but I'd like to cover it. Kerbal Space Program is a game that I really want to get back into. I love Kerbal Space, but it's one of those games that is a bit like something like DayZ or Arma 3. You have to spend 4 hours of recording in order to get yourself 15-20 minutes of video. the ratio is so wrong, if you like, for what I can afford to do right now. So games like this where I can just jump in and record and pretty much with small amounts of editing put this out, they're the kind of games that I have to go for when I've got no time on my hands. When I've got lots of time on my hands, it'll be a completely different story. And here we are, Sao Paulo. Look at this. That's pretty good, doesn't it? I've been riding without my beacons on. Naughty boy. Forgot to put them back on. Oh, this is lovely. See what I mean? This is like made by non-SCS map author, Brazil map, and it looks great. You know, it just looks great. I love it. And it feels like Brazilian weather. Fantastic. So this has been a chat about 2014, about, you know, the channel's growth, the videos I covered, the games I covered, and I've chatted about 2015, what I want to do, where I want to go. It will remain to be seen whether I can make it happen or not. I really hope I can. But at the end of 2014, I kind of reflect back and just think, well, of course I'd like more growth, but from what I got, it was pretty damn good, and the community that I've got is just amazing. Like, the people I've got in my community is just, it's so good, guys. It's so good. And I know you've all got a passion for the same kinds of games that I play. And even recently, you know, over Christmas, I live streamed a new game called Transocean, which was a game I'd never tried before, but I used to play a game in the 80s and sorry, in the 90s called Ports of Call on the Commodore Amiga. And Transocean is like a modern version of Ports of Call, and I just love it. It's a different kind of game to what I normally play. Are we going in here? I think we're going in here. It's a different kind of game to what I normally play. It's about, you know, resource management and business management and building a shipping empire and all that kind of thing. But I love games like that too. I've just never really put them on my channel so much. But that kind of game tends to live stream very well. But YouTube videos, not so well. Which is interesting because YouTube and Twitch are such different platforms. I kind of look at a game and I think, I can see how to make that work on YouTube, but I can't see how to make it work on Twitch, and vice versa. Live streaming and YouTubing are such different animals. And I'm one of the few guys that's trying to do both, because most people tend to do one or the other, don't they? So, anyway, let's see if we can park this, because this is not the easiest park in the world. Because of the long wheelbase of this thing, mostly. Where are we? Thankfully there's nothing next to it. Quite often there's something next to it here, which makes it even harder. I think I might have overshot that. Oh no. If I just straighten it up, it should be alright, I reckon. Yeah, I think we got this. We got this. More or less straight in now. Look at that. On the money. Lovely. Lovely! Liverpool to Sao Paulo, look at that. Driven distance 700 kilometres. Ferry was about 3,000 something, I think. Right, let's turn the beacons off. Let's leave this docking area. I don't know what they're going to do with that tank. But I'm just a driver, I don't worry about those things. See the apple rolling around on the dashboard. I quite like the apple. The fly buzzing around is kind of annoying after a while. At first it's like a nice gimmick, but very quickly it becomes, okay, that's just annoying now. But I still love this truck. It's such a beautiful truck. It's a lovely truck to drive. This would be a truck that you'd be proud to own a truck like this, I think. Inside of it is just gorgeous. Don't like the Pepsi. Prefer the Coke down there, to be honest. What's this? Look, school recruitment. School recruitment. Schoollogistics.co.uk. School-logistics.co.uk. That's the VTC. The virtual trucking company that's run by Stephen Kimbleton on my behalf. So he runs that with the School Logistics brand. So if you want to try a bit of virtual trucking. Actually, School Logistics VTC is a very strong performing VTC. If you look at the drivers, they deliver a lot of stuff. They really do. We punch quite higher than our weight, really. Alright, let's park up over here, shall we? How's that? Just a view like Scania. We're at Scania. How uncanny. That's a nice view, isn't it? And there we go, guys. That is that's the last video of 2014. That was a review of 2014, what we've done, what I hope to do with 2015. I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much. A massive, massive thank you from me. As I've said to people on my live stream, without you guys, this would be nothing more than me just playing games by myself. It's you guys that make it. I'm the host, really. I make this content for you to watch, but equally, without you watching it, it would mean nothing. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you over 2014. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve celebration, whatever it is you're doing, whoever you're with. And I shall see you all in 2015, and let's hope that 2015 is a massive success. Take care, guys. And happy trucking.